Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to the Last Epoch dev stream. As always, I'm your host, Mike. Hello. How's it going, everybody? We're going to hop right in. Welcome, everyone, from Lone Star McFluffin's stream. Good timing. You have perfect timing, actually. Almost like it's scheduled. Oh. And for once, I'm on time. And thank you very much for the resub, McFluffin, as well. 19 months. Oh, it feels good. Heavy too, 19 months. It's the 19-month crew checking in. Glad to have y'all with us. Fantastic. Well, I'm sure nothing happened today that anyone will even care to talk about at all. But, you know, if anything comes up, I'd be happy to talk about it. You know, just whatever. But in the meantime, we're gonna keep on keeping on with our quest for a Titan heart that doesn't have reflect on it. Oh, that felt bad. I got it twice in a row last time. If you were here for that, not sure if y'all remember that, but oh, it hurt the soul. So we're gonna go back and we're gonna try for something else. I'm pretty sure this one's, I guess we can tell actually, it doesn't say greater. So yeah, let's go here and we're just gonna try and go for a nice upgraded version of this. I think get a greater one. Squirrels shoot squirrels from their mouths. All right. Is favor system planned before 1.0? So we've kind of talked about this like nebulous idea of a favor style system, and I think it's maybe been in like a roadmap at some point or something like that, and it's still pretty fledgling. I don't know if we'll have anything like that for 1.0 or not, but I mean, I'd hope so, but I don't know. What's already on here? This one's already going. Crit chance, endurance, shred. I mean, yeah, we're fine with all this pretty well. The shred armor on hit's not fantastic, though. Let's just go for some more experience, I think. Frenzy Haste is rough, though. Yeah, let's do that. We don't have any minions. It don't matter anyways. They can focus us all they want. Alright. If this is your first time here, welcome. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask them. But put an @Last Epoch game in the chat so I see it, and I'll get to it as soon as I can. I might be a little bit behind, and I apologize for that, but I'll do my best to get through all of them if I can. Also, we stream for charity here, so our charity is always above my head, and we're doing the Salvation Army this time. Pretty cool. New one every month. That's what we got going on. And on to questions. What major content are you planning for 0.9 since there's no content in your post on forum, just some visual improvements? Why did your lead developer told Insistion that 0.9 would be for sure? There's a lot of problems with this question, but I'm reading it verbatim, but I do not agree with the question. And why did your lead developer told Ziz stream that 0.9 would for sure be until the end of the year? We were planning to release the game this phase. Thank you for the answers. Okay, so first of all, that was never said on the Ziz stream. Just like go watch it back. That's not what was said. There's lots of content in the post as well. So like there's sorry, I very much disagree with the post. It's also not exhaustive. So this is focusing on things that have happened since our last development update. That's all it is. It's the things that happened between our last development update and right now. That's all that this post is really focusing on. Yeah. All right. Other side of the world is ready for breakfast leaks. I don't like. There's a ton of news that came out today. It all went into that post. I will tell you right up front. If you're just here for extra leaks, I got basically nothing for you. I'm sure there'll be questions that'll come up, and I'll talk about things and accidentally, muddle my way through saying something I shouldn't. But I don't have any visual aids prepared this day, unfortunately for you. But I don't always come with them. Are more dungeons planned before 1.0? More dungeons is one of those things that we'd love to get more of them in as soon as we can. When the next ones come, I don't have a firm date on yet. But it is definitely a system that's going to be expanded. Is Chapter 10 still planned to come before 1.0? Oh, before one, so we letter them internally and number them externally. So like you see here, it's like Chapter 9. Okay, that's a good way to do it. That was Majesta Chapter 9. So 10 is I. Yeah. Which I know is not the 10th letter of the alphabet. Maybe. That's a flex depending on a few things that will, depends on how things go, if it's before 1.0 or not. Is trading planned before or at least with 1.0? Sorry, I've already answered. So this is this is define trade, right? So there is a system that will be. This was in the post, the development post that was posted today. So if you read that, I'm going to say the same thing that's in there. At 0.9, there will be a system by which items can be transferred from one player to another, and that will be there at 0.9. So yes, but maybe no, depending on how you define trade. All right, next one. Lone Stomach Fluffin asks, can you give a bit more information of a time frame on when the dedicated trade post is happening? We've been hearing in the coming months and soon for a long time now. It's an important topic for a lot of people. Yeah, it's still that statement was said in chat and it 100% happened. I assume you're referring to the Ziz thing. So if we're gonna do this here, like let's read this. I'm gonna go back and read it carefully, because I'm assuming it's about the right timing for this. Why did your lead developer, who wasn't in that call, so he definitely couldn't have said it, even if but we'll ignore that part for a second, told on Ziz stream that 0.9 will be for sure until the end of the year. Let's reword this so it actually is what he's trying to say, because I think there's a little bit of a language barrier here. So so why did your producer say on Ziz's stream that 0.9 would be released for sure before the end of the year? That's what the question is trying to say. I think the way it was worded, and you can go back and double check me on this one, but I've watched this clip so many times, was we hope to have 0.9 out before the end of the year. It's very different than for sure it'll be out before the end of the year. I think in my world at least, those are very different statements. So yeah, let's move on from that. All right. So when is the trade post coming? I have no idea. I'm sorry. There's still things we're working out with it. It's not completely set in stone yet, and we've learned that posting something that's a work in progress is a recipe for disaster. All right. Can you? Oh no, what have I done? There we go. Can you point out any content that was mentioned in the update, as I can't seem to find any content for 0.9? Sure. Let's make sure it's not going to die in here. Yeah, that one looks fine. I mean, here. Here's some content right here. Is none of this content anymore? Like, it's gonna select it all. No. Is none of this content at all? I mean, this is talking about how we're adapting echoes. Someone's called this content here. But once again, this is just the stuff that we've finished between the last development update and this development update for content. Key phrase there is finished as well. And I know it doesn't go into very heavy details on what these are, but there's a lot of skill updates that have happened here. I know this is kind of like a one-liner that just sort of goes over vague definition of things that have happened, but it is like there's a lot of stuff with skills that have happened recently. Also, just a lot of general gameplay improvements. But like, if okay, I guess the question might be need to be phrased. So, are we talking about content of, like, new game mechanics, new systems? Is that what we're talking about with content? Like, like what new systems or new game mechanics are being introduced in Point 9? Is that the question that we're trying to ask? It might be what we're trying to. There's so many terminologies that it's like it's so hard to get on the same page as what's being asked here and there. I'm being DM'd that yes, this is what we're asking. In which case, there's no new systems that were announced in this development update. Do you have a plan for how many patches between 0.9 and 1.0? Yes. Does it seem like there's many more things on the to-do list after multiplayer? There's not a huge... Well, okay, so there's a ton of things we want to do. There's not a lot of things that we need to do before 1.0 launches. So, like, there's a lot of things that are on the post-1.0 to-do list, for sure. There's tons of stuff coming there. But yeah, there's not a huge slew of things that are like new system mechanics coming in before 1.0. You're right. Yeah, like new skills, new items, new maps, new systems, things like that. Yeah, like it's like where's the content line? It's hard to say. Content schwantent, when do I get a sword made of squirrels? I don't think they'd like that very much. Like, can you imagine like a whip or something? Squirrels attached, like holding onto the tail in front of them. It'd be terrifying. Most seems only to think content is like additions to endgame chapters, dungeons, etc., stuff that extends the game and what to do. I mean, yeah, so it's even that distinction's a little bit gray, right? Because like as soon as you say things that extend the game and what to do, a new unique item can do that, I think, right? So it's I think it's tricky, but yeah, I hear what you're saying. Yeah, okay, so someone's got this stream transcribed. So yeah, that's exactly what it's saying. Perfect. Our release timeline still... I'm reading this of what someone else has transcribed from the video, so I don't know if it's a perfect quote, but it looks right to me. This is what I remember. Our release timelines still aren't out in the world, but we're trying to aim for open beta this year. Yeah, so that was the goal, if possible. As you can see, we're getting pretty close at this point, but I want to avoid specific dates still for the time being. Yeah, so I think that's a pretty far cry from guarantee. You know? Alright. That content will not get you new players if you want to survive D4 and PoE 2. I think... Okay, I'll read the rest of this question. When we are saying content, we mean content similar to what PoE is doing, not by magnitude, but yeah, some new endgame skills mechanics, etc. So I think those types of things are really good for to re-engage returning players, which is really important to do. And is really important for the long-term health of the game and like the long-term fun that people are going to get out of it, and just extending the amount of stuff that's there to do. It's really important, absolutely. I'm not saying we're not going to do that, but I don't think that's the most important way to get players to come from to the new players to try out the game, really. because there's no reference baseline to go off of there. So like, I definitely wouldn't do this, but hypothetically, you could just take a system that's been in the game for a year and market it as something new to someone who's never seen the game before, and they would have no idea the difference, right? Just because you're adding, like, improving the game overall is going to help to bring in new players. Adding new endgame mechanics doesn't inherently... I think it's a bigger impact on returning players than new players. I could be wrong about that. LE 2024? Ugh, gross. Yeah, most people not waiting for multiplayer that have played for a while want to know what new endgame is coming in the future classes after 0.9 release. Yeah, that's a reasonable thing to want to know. When did you know you won't be able to release multiplayer this year? Pretty recently. I don't know an exact date of it. Go back and watch my streams when I stop answering that question. That's about what I knew. There's a few streams before the announcement went out. Just a couple streams before the announcement went out, I think, that I stopped answering when is 0.9 coming with. The goal is this year. So it wasn't long before the announcement, when we really decided it was done for this year. We try and keep you guys as up to date as possible. We really avoid sitting on information. Usually, if you guys don't know something, usually it's because it's just not... This is not decided yet. Alright. Going through these echoes pretty slow. Casual, like, you know. Alright. No new content before 1.0. Wow. I think that's a extreme leap in logic that is definitely not true at all. Like, categorically false. No. Hi, I have a question about Beastmaster's Scorpion. Do the baby scorpions count as your own minions? Kinda. Depends what context you're asking. Also, there is a node that lets the scorpion use ice thorns depending on your ice thorn, I'm assuming, tree. Are those ice thorns now scaled by strength and minion modifiers instead of attunement and spell damage? So minions don't get attribute scaling regardless, so it's not scaled by strength. And they don't have any strength or attunement, so it doesn't matter. But yes, they're scaled by minion modifiers because minion modifiers... What minion modifiers do is they give the stats to your minion as you summon it, so that they then become regular modifiers on the minion. So when the minion uses the ability, they're just using it the same way you would, so they have those same stats. So yes, it uses minion modifiers. When the minion's using the ability, the minion uses minion modifiers, which are actually just regular modifiers that have started out as minion modifiers for yourself. Generally, baby scorpions count as the scorpion's minions. They are allies. 807, that should be enough. That should be enough. Did we just go? Did we just go? I think we just go. Heal up first, get Rebuke back on. There we go. Oh, also, I've just been told that it never actually uses your Ice Thorns tree, even though it says it does. It was a bug in there that stopped it from doing it. So it's just its self using its own Ice Thorns tree. Alright. Let's do this. It sounds like grouping will require only one key between the entire group. Yes, that's true right now. Doesn't that give a big advantage to grouping over solo when grouping multiple ladder? And a big advantage? It's not really that big of an advantage. The keys are, like, they're not raining from the sky or whatever, but they're also not like super duper rare. So it's not, it's usually not that big of a deal. Go for your flyby. There you go. Come on down. So yeah, it's a little bit nicer on that, but it's not like it's not zero. The reason for this, I can tell you why this is the way it is, and hopefully that'll shed a little light here. We wanted to avoid the situation where, say you're in a group of 4 people and you're doing Temporal Sanctum runs, and one person runs out of keys. Now you're kind of in a weird situation where basically everyone has to stop while that person farms up keys, or while everyone farms up keys possibly, or oh, that's a little bit of a bug there. Come on, good, here we go. Or you stop while everyone farms up keys, or just this one person farms up keys. Or you leave that person behind, everyone else keeps going, and that person farms up keys on their own. And it's just that there's a lot of like splitting the party that happens. I mean, we're trying to avoid situations where the game mechanics force the party to split and go off and do separate things like that. Like if you're playing with your friends, we want you to be able to play with your friends. And mechanics that sort of prevent that from happening, if they can be avoided nicely. Oh, I went to the wrong spot of the room. If they can be avoided nicely without major buffs or like disparity that way, we're gonna try it. And a lot of the time, things like this are still like they're open for debate, they're open for feedback, and we'll look at the like what's going on and see if something needs to change. Oop, that was a big one. Come on back over here, girl. And oof, okay, I'm a little bit ahead of the curve. There we go. And what am I trying to say here? Keys, shared keys. Yeah. So with only needing one key, you can kind of go until your party's keys are done, and then you can join back up again. And then on top of that, a lot of the dungeon rewards, the major reason you're doing a dungeon in a lot of cases, the resource that most restricts the total amount of value or power or rewards you get out of it is something external to the keys. So, for example, in... Come on, calling. There we go. For example, in... Oh, we didn't get it. That's too bad. In... What should I say? Temporal Sanctum. You're looking at, you need the unique item with legendary potential and the exalted item to go in it. So usually you're not going to be chaining together a dozen of those anyways. And then at the same time, if say one person had that ready to go and they wanted to go do it, and their friend, maybe you don't have a legendary ready to get put together, so you're like, I don't really need to go do that. I don't want to burn my own key just following you to go do the thing you want to do. So there's a lot of situations where the flow, each of you needing your own key, there's a lot of reasons to split up and not a lot of reasons to actually play together. And so having the I'm sorry this is so disjointed because I'm doing with the boss fight and trying not to die. But yeah, having to do the content separately, like being forced to split up, is something we're trying to avoid. And you can see that a lot in how we're handling the monolith rewards as well, because a lot of these things that you're seeing here come from a lot of feedback and testing from the CTs. Things that we tried just horribly failed, and other things we tried went better, and so we're tuning what we're doing based on the feedback, and that's going to continue. And I think we've proven that's the way we work best as well long term. Anyway, so that'll continue. Long answer on that question. Sorry, it was a big one, I thought. All right. Are you worried with the game not really having anything new to do for 1 year that it will impact the amount of people who show up for 0.9? Probably, yes. Do I think it's going to be a problem? No. Promise I don't mean this is a shot. Just curious about your thoughts. Yeah, it's totally fine. Even if it was a shot, I understand. It's not a big deal. Not upset. Ooh, crit multi. That's nice. Shred Void Res on hit. Ooh. That might actually be better. Because we hit so frequently. This really helps us with bigger enemies that we're like laying into a bunch. Stack that up huge. This one does. Sorry, I think we're gonna switch. Why not? Right? Let's have some fun with it. These fit so well together. I love it. Not gonna use either of them. I love it. Oh yeah, I think a balance pass is enough content, but most say it's not. I mean like, we're doing more than a balance pass. Don't worry. But I do agree that balance pass is content, but it's a small piece of content compared to what's coming out. Because yeah, new items, new skills, things like that. I think, like, to me at least, are really exciting content. And maybe that comes from a little bit more of a like magic card background in a lot of cases, where I'm like, they released 3 new cards that are good for the format I love. Content, you know? Not facetiously, like I seriously mean that. I think this is the one we go for next. Do you know if the ladder will be working for 0.9? The goal is for it to be. I'd be pretty disappointed if it wasn't. It's not working yet, so I can't make any promises on it. But the it's on the list of what we're hoping for. It might not make it. Hope it does. The rogue is still missing a skill for mastery. From mastery 20 in base class, like other classes have. Mastery. Oh, I'm not sure what that 20 is. But yeah, they'll at 1.0 pretend there's a skill here. All skills will all classes will have the same number of skills plus 1, and they'll all have skill trees, unlike Healing Hands. But yeah, it'll be the full grid here for all of them at 1.0. The question is, is this hoping to be filled in before the other mastery classes are released, or must we be patient? It depends. So some classes will get those things filled in before 1.0. Some of them will get them filled in probably at 1.0. They'll definitely all be the same at 1.0. We are getting a ton of Void Res Shred stacking really fast. Do we have anything else that's doing that too? I don't know. Because you get too much, because Resistance Shred stack cap at 15 right now. So you can get too much of it, and it's actually kind of a waste. Oh, you need to update the charity. Steve, do you not? Oh, that's the development post. Sorry, that wasn't the link you sent me. That's my bad. Oh, gosh. Steve, if you send me the link, I can do it. But I don't know where it is. I'm sorry. Nightbot. There you go. Nightbot, please. Google, thank you very much. Oh, never mind. I don't think I need a link. I can just do it here. Cool. Should be good now. Get back to questions. I'm there. Make Warlock great. We will. Don't worry. It's gonna be sweet. I'm very pumped about Warlock. I think it's gonna be something that a lot of people are really pumped for. And I think it's gonna be a really interesting class to play. I think there's gonna be a lot of fun mechanics there as well. Of the I mained a Warlock in WoW for a long time. That was my baby, and I don't want to draw direct comparisons there unnecessarily, but just as background, I guess, for me personally. Um, I'm really excited about the Warlock in general. I think it's going to be the Acolyte class I play the most initially, partially just because it'll be new, you know. But just looking at the themes and the things it can do, that's more my style than what we've got now, which I do enjoy a lot. But yeah. All right, are you planning on inviting more players in the CT? Yep, we do. There's still invites going out. The multiplayer have to be out before Diablo 4. I mean, it'll be out on March 9th. So we'll see if that's going to be before Diablo 4 or not. After 0.9 release, can we expect more frequent quarterly patches or what? And the patch cadence, I hope we never go a full year without a patch again. That's and I mean, I don't know if it's going to be quite a full year, but close to it. We'll call it a year because it's close enough, right? That's way longer than we initially planned when we said we were going to do a long patch. A year was never the plan, and it's good. Like, we did the right thing. I think we made the right decisions, and I think this is going to work out as well as it could have. And I'm like it's going to be good. It's just we never planned for a year-long patch, and that's way longer than we'd initially planned. And we're not planning on year-long patch cycles in the future either. That's just way beyond what we're planning. Anything you can say on how CT program will change post 0.9? That's a really good question. I think it will be. It's a really hard question to answer. I don't have any concrete information on what it will what will happen to it. I can give you some speculation on what I think will happen and that sort of thing, but I that's I forgot about the echo damage nodes. Show you how to fit in. Bye. I forgot I had the Titan. I don't need the Sun. Oh, what are we talking about here? CT program post 0.9. Yeah, it's I'm not sure. I'm going to get a DM here. Sorry, getting DMs like crazy here. Not saying anything wrong though. Don't worry, it's fine. How will the CT post change 0.9? There's not going to be, I would say, massive sweeping changes. We're still going to use it for the same type of thing. We're still going to use it for trying to get content out in front of people before it's ready for a full release. I guess what we're trying to do is transition the core player base from expecting beta content to expecting release content. It's kind of the type of transition we're trying to make, where we're more confident in the things that are coming out, and this is the type of transition that we did, I guess, this year, really, where I would say we always wanted to have as high quality as possible, but I think we've put a higher and higher bar on that quality as we progressed, and the CT program now if anyone's here is in it, you'll know there's a lot of bugs that go into it. There's a lot of experimental features that go into it. It's a lot less curated. It's like we'll put something in. It'll just be like in the patch notes of the CT program. We'll just be like, this button doesn't work. If you click it, you're gonna have a bad time. And like that's the whole thing. If we were gonna release that in a non-CT environment, like the button would be removed, and there'd be some sort of notice there that would explain what's happening, and there'll be like a workaround system or something like that. But in the CT program, it's kind of just like, well, we're not testing that, so don't press it. We're testing this other thing. Press that. And that's the type of, I guess, the difference between that and our release content. Also, thank you very much, Hunter X Ben Kai Killer. Has been subbed for 11 months or 7 months in a row. Shout out to all the honey lovers. I love honey. Honey's so cool as well. It's such a unique food, in like the shelf life that it has and things you can do to it and how its flavor changes based on just like the flowers that were around when it was made by the bees and the different types of bees. Like there's all sorts of crazy stuff with honey. I'm no expert, so if you're interested, go look at it yourself. Cool fact about honey: don't give honey to infants. Kids under 2 should not eat honey. Maybe it might be 1, but you know. Don't use this as medical advice either. Go research it, but don't give kids honey. With babies, it's bad for them, real bad. It's real good for adults though. Love honey. I always put it in teriyaki sauce. Yeah. Oops. Bye bye. Come back. Hello. Is this the shred here? Yeah, it's the shred. Oh, right. Happy Friday. So happy to hear about 0.9 progress today. Happy Friday, Master Sword 1291. Glad to have you here. There's a weird bug that happened in multiplayer right now. I think it's fixed now. But last time a couple times ago we were playing, and the all the chests in Urza's study weren't working. And there was like 3 chests in spawn, and I was like, none of them dropped anything, and I'm like, ugh. We got it though. Are there any new endgame mechanics coming in 0.9, or any new skills? I'm specifically interested in marksman new skills. So maybe there's no new core game mechanics or marksman skills that are completed now for 0.9, but yeah. There's still time for things to happen, but I don't think there's any marksman skills planned either. I'd be pretty surprised if one squeaked in. We do need to get some more marksman skills on the books before or by launch at least. I think there's 1 missing from the mastery, and 1-ish missing from the base, I think. Doesn't have to be marksman specific, but we usually try and lean them towards a specific class in the bases. Can we expect to see Rive's skill tree changes to 0.9? Oof. I don't know all the details. Like, can we expect to see changes on skill X in 0.9? Probably, I think. There's so many little changes all over the place that there's a good chance that every skill is going to get something. Because there's a lot, we did, as I mentioned before, we did like a full pass on all the skills, and there were a lot of things that were just kind of hiding in there that just weren't doing anything. I'm being told yes. Getting a mini rework, which has been done. Cool. Thanks, Reimer. Much appreciated. This is the problem. I've been working on a bunch of UI stuff for the last like 3 months, so I haven't been touching skills at all. A little out of the loop on them. Show me the way to battle, Ice Beetle. My battle beetle brother. My battle beetle brother. Yeah. We got it. We got there. We had to pack for a journey, but we got there. Oh, it's done. What am I doing? Hello, Mike. Hello. First, Brazil just lost the match in the FWC. I'm sorry to hear that. I do not follow it at all, unfortunately. Just not my sport. But my condolences. But I'm happy to finally have a date for 0.9. Can you say to us if everything on the infrastructure part for patch 0.9 and multiplayer is done, in what part you guys feel is still missing? No, I can't. I don't work on the infrastructure stuff as much. It's very, very, very good. I mean, there's still little features here and there that need to get tweaked and updated and everything like that. The core functionality is there. Working great. Ooh. Looks scary. But I'm like... will it ever really be done? You know? It's kind of how I feel about things like that. Like there's always something to update and improve with all those things. So like... I hate putting the label done on it. Just in general. But it's good enough that we've had months of continuous uptime with the CT program with extremely promising results. Yeah. So there's that. Alright, after 0.9, do you think the following main patches will be smaller or larger than pre-0.9 main patches? Oh god, I have no idea. That's a really difficult question to to answer. I'm sorry, I have no idea. Is there any chance you would add the possibility to summon multiple bears, scorpions, saber-tooths, or raptors the same way how you can have a flock of ravens or wolves? I'd say very unlikely, but not impossible. Something like that would probably be tied to an item, or maybe a combination of items, or probably just one item. But yeah, like it's one of the big things we try and do is create uniqueness. Kind of wherever we can with... Walk right past this thing. My goodness, Mike. You're babbling away. With most systems and most like skills and items and every category, we try and create as much uniqueness as we can. So we'll have... what's an example? It's like even just class to class, we try and create as much uniqueness, and then skill to skill inside that. So we try and like carve out like what's this ability's role, and is converting this ability to like okay, a good example of this actually is when we're doing skill conversions. So there's not a lot of great examples on this class actually. Okay, I guess here's a good example. Yeah. So Rive's getting a rework, so I can say this about it right now. A mini rework. We'll call it a mini rework. So not a ton's changing, but a few little things. Anyways, the Vengeance and Rive are extremely similar abilities on and Multistark too. They're all very similar abilities on Sentinel base class. And we really try to carve out a unique niche for each one of them. And so Vengeance has clearly a defensive component with it, right? So you're retaliating, and then there's a lot of things in here that buff like defense while you're doing that. And then Multi-Strike has a pretty clear AoE component where you're trying to hit lots of different things with a basic attack. And these three are basic attack replacements, basically. They all cost 0. They're all pretty fast. They're all pretty light hitting. They're all pretty small area. That sort of thing. They're basic attack replacements. And we try and find a way to make each one of them unique. And so we wouldn't put a like Vengeance style defensive component and retaliation component on Rive, because like that's Vengeance's thing, you know. And if as soon as you start putting those types of effects and abilities on Rive, what's the point of even having Vengeance? Because you just got one ability that does both things depending on how you spec in the tree. So we try and make sure there's clear distinctions and as little overlap between them as possible, and like carve out a unique niche for each one of them. And so with I guess I should just use bears and the minions as an example right out the gate. One of the big things that makes ravens and wolves unique compared to all those other companions you have on Beastmaster is that you can have a whole bunch of them. And yeah, scorpions, you can get the mini ones, but like that's a different way of getting more of them, right? Like it's a unique way of like something that's unique with that ability. And like this happens a fair bit with elemental conversions on mage and rogue. Actually rogue a lot, funny enough. But yeah, we try and, you know, like have things that they each do well. And have a lot of them is something that wolves and ravens do well. Having a lot of like bleed, like high DPS bleed, poison, hybrid support, things like that. Something where you're going for a lot of individual fast hits on one companion. That's Raptor's niche. There's a lot of bleed synergy in Raptor. And then you look at Bear, and you're looking at more of a tanky minion is the goal there. You look at Sabretooth, and we're trying to Sabretooth needs some love there. But I mean, kind of the way that goes is it tries to get more into that, like the cold element, some CC with cold abilities. It's very agile in combat because it can leap. So, you know, we try and have different things that each one of them can do. So it's not just okay, well, all minions can do these 12 things. Which one do you like the theming of most? Type thing. And because that's mechanically uninteresting, you know. If they're all the same, then what's the point of having different ones? Like, you might as well just have one skill tree with a single node on it that lets you change how they look. And having them be thematically and mechanically different and appropriate to their themes, having the mechanics represent their themes, I think really helps push that home. And like, you can take that whole answer and apply it to pretty well any, why can't this ability do the thing this other ability can do, or why can't this class do this thing this other class can do, or why can't this item do this thing this other item can do. It's kind of the same answer. Alright. Are you planning to do leagues, domains, alterations after 1.0 similar to PoE or similar games? Yes. We're going to call them cycles. How many new skills on Sentinel will be done before 1.0? One. That will be the Paladin's missing a skill, Healing Hands needs a skill tree, and Sentinel's done. This one's charity. Yeah, why am I reading that? At what point in life do you decide I will grow a massive beard? When I got just fat enough to grow that second chin. No. It was before I had any right to try and grow a beard. I did start getting facial hair quite young, but looking back, you're like, oh, it's too soon, bud. Should have just held out like an extra year would have been good. I also just don't like shaving. It's half of it right there. What was the reason that current missing masteries are the ones which come last? Like, why did we pick those specific masteries to not get added until now? Part of it is to do with class archetypes that the reason we picked the ones we picked first. So at the start, there's sort of like a few different phases of this. We started out with, it's drawing time. It's drawing time. I wish this didn't I wish I could make it take the whole screen, whatever though. Just draw on the whole screen. Open whiteboard. Do I have like a whiteboard? No, it doesn't matter. Close enough. Oh my. Okay. So we let's say I don't know where these patch lines are exactly, but we'll call this like the 1.0 classes. This is Falcon. Oh, Falconer, Rune, and Warlock, and so that's the last two that are coming, and then the first ones we did, which were things like Beastmaster was really early. I guess it was actually Sork. This is before Masteries even existed. Um, Necro was in here. VK was here. Void Knight was here. So these were our like very starting. This is before. This is we'll call this pre Masteries. I don't know what patch this was. Pre Mastery 1.0, and this is just the rest. Everything else. Gosh, whatever, it's gross. Almost erased that L, but whatever, we'll leave it. So there's the everything that came in this category here. Let's number these. 1, 2, 3. Everything that came in phase 1. It's way overdone. Everything that came in phase 1 were classes that we were extremely confident about, and class archetypes we knew absolutely would be popular, and we were super like we knew the game had to have a natural type of character that could use minions, was very physical, was like we knew we had to have a character like that. We knew we had to have an elemental magic user sorcerer. We had to have that. We knew we had to have a necromancer, like summoning undead minions, death magic, things like that. We knew we had to have that. Void Knight was a little bit of a weird one to have there as an early one. We knew we had to have a sword and board. There was actually a knight character that came before this, but I'm kind of leaving it out. And it was actually a female knight character. Interesting. Ancient Last Epoch lore here. And so yeah, the Void Knight characters were the ones that we knew these ones. So the Void Knight, we knew we wanted a sword and board style plate wearing armor class, but at the same time we wanted to have something unique in the game, and we wanted to have something that was sort of our own. Like you can draw direct comparisons in Diablo 2 and Diablo 3 to basically everything here. Path of Exile, you just draw direct comparison. Void Knight's a little bit unique, and there's a little bit of sort of a Last Epoch vibe and flair that comes from that we wanted to have in the game really early. And like this was these two were pre-Kickstarter. This was like mid Kickstarter, and this was like a week after Kickstarter or something like that. You know, like we're talking really early. And so those are the ones. That's why we did those ones first. And then we started just kind of putting in fleshing out classes. So we were just when we decided to do the masteries thing, and we're just adding in. We're just like, let's get to 2 for all of them. Trying to get to 3 as soon as we can, and we're just picking the ones that we think are going to be really popular and are going to hit clear class archetypes and are going to be very different from the other things. So like, what's the most different? What's the most new that we can pull out of here and add in? And these 3 got kind of left pretty late, and they kind of just got pushed and pushed and pushed. We kind of redesigned. They've all gone through a redesign actually from the original version, and a lot of that's come from feedback in the game, just us learning how to make these things. Making the rogue, I guess we can like put the rogue in here as like just like a little extra character mini sub like 2.5 here. You know, as the rogue, and we learned a lot when making the rogue, and that changed how we were approaching these a lot. These are the most unique, I think, classes, and the most there's the fewest direct ARPG comparisons that can be drawn to these classes from other classes in games. I think is kind of an important keynote there. I think that explains the answer to the question. Sorry, I just kind of got rambling there. Don't forget to put out Last Epoch Game of the questions, so I'll see them, but I do see one here that doesn't have it answered anyways. Any chance in future gender lock is gone? There's a huge thread. This is a question that comes up a fair bit. The overarching conversation is character customization, so that's like gender lock is the same conversation as I want to change my height. I want to change the way my character like the body type weight distribution on my character. I want to change the color of my character's hair. You know, all these things. It's the same. It's really the same ask. There's different levels of this, and like I doubt we'll ever get into like I'm gonna move the jawline of my character because like, can you see that? No. So there's diminishing returns on a lot of these things in a game like this, because the camera angle, all sort of stuff, and the gear you're wearing. But broad picture stuff. It's possible that we could add that sort of stuff. We'd really like to. It will not happen by 1.0. 1.0, all the character models will be static, and the 5 you see before you now will be the 5 that are used. Yeah. So that's those are not. I shouldn't say those will be the 5 that will use. There could be changes to those models and adjustments and improvements and things like that. But the broadly speaking, they'll be those 5. It's a post 1.0 thing. We'd love to. Don't have the time yet. Would it be safe to assume that there is no more safe to assume there will be no more delays for multiple release? Just to set the record straight, do you think it will be March, or to quote the Ziz stream, for sure? I mean, so there's always room for things to go horribly wrong. Like, we spent a long time making sure we had plenty of room, plenty of runway to do this. Like the language in the official post is very clear. Like let's go look at this. Let's look at this right here. Date locked. Like that's pretty absolute, right? Like that's as I think this is the first time we've ever actually put a date to our multiplayer release. Even when we've like said, okay, it's gonna come next year, things like that. Like, we never put a date to it, and we spent a long time picking this date. And I know there's a lot of there's not a full detailed explanation of why we picked this date, because that would be this ridiculously long post of every single little factor that went into picking this date. But part of it is that it's far enough out that we truly believe this will be this is attainable. This is something we can hit. This is where we're confident in. We've got many other dates that are rolling ahead, and there's a lot of things we're putting behind this. And so, like, we're pushing for these dates. These are like, if things are problematic before this dates, like, things are getting cut instead of the dates getting pushed type dates, you know? Hopefully nothing has to get cut. I don't see why anything should. We're quite confident in this. It's about as absolute as you're gonna get out of me. It was pretty clear. But yeah, it's exciting to have a firm date. You know, a meteor hits the Earth and I'm a liar all of a sudden. But, you know, like, barring that, Crit chance, give me those yellows. Love to see them. I feel like I would enjoy this if just turn the color yellow for all the font. It doesn't have to be bigger numbers, just turn the color yellow. Oh, hey, you're right here, buddy. I didn't see you there. Come with me, and you'll see absolutely nothing, because you'll be in the void, alone and cold. Alright. I guess part of the question is, like, is it safe to make plans for that date? I'm making plans for that date. You know? Like, why does this game not have an option to pause? Because there's a weird bug that makes it not work. It works in the editor. In today's post, it says if someone dies in the monolith while in a group, the player loses the end rewards. Does this include stability? Ooh, good question. I'm pretty sure it does. I'm pretty sure it does. If anyone in the team is listening that knows the answer to this more firmly, please let me know and I'll relay it. But I'm pretty sure it includes stability. I think it's all the rewards. Just to confirm, FAQ from forum offline mode is still planned. Yeah, offline mode still planned. And will the community unique Lamented Last Refuge come in 0.9? I have a build planned for it for 8 months. I want it so bad. Yes, it's in the game already. Is a Dark Quiver skill going to be overhauled? Because it's really useless in the state. Is there any cold and poison conversion coming in the future for Exploding Arrow? A few questions there. Overhauled? It's a strong word. I wouldn't go that far. Some changes? Yeah. I can see some changes to it. I don't know if anything's done yet, but it's definitely a skill that I find myself having a tough time playing with in multiplayer, and I do try and play with it quite a bit. Right. Useless, I think, is a little strong, though. Any cold and poison conversion coming in the future for Exploding Arrow? Unlikely, I would say. Possible, maybe. I see that's the sort of thing that could be on an item. I'm being told that just the bonus stability will be lost. Pretty sure. Sorry, you have cold conversion. I think you meant poison. Okay, I thought that might be cold there, but yes. More conversions and things like that. Items is probably the better way that'll happen than in the tree. I would assume if it happens at all. Poison is a pretty big archetype for rogue, and this kind of comes back to the same thing of like, are there other abilities that are really good for poison, and do we want to step on them too much with this? You know, maybe. Enemies have a chance to shred armor. Ooh, increased health. That's okay. We have culling. Are you not afraid? Oof. That you have missed your window with multiplayer, with D4 coming early next year and PoE coming 3 or 4 months later? Yes, I'm not afraid. But I assume you're expecting or hoping for the answer no. But yes is the answer to the actual question there, because I'm a dirty programmer and I'm going to answer it like a programmer. All right. Hi, I just joined. Welcome. Glad to have you here. Sorry if this was asked already. That's fine. Is multiplayer going to be for playing with friends, or is it going to be easy to join games with random people? I love this game. Thank you for making it. Thanks for enjoying our game. I'm happy you're happy with it. As far as multiplayer, there's like we want to encourage both things. We know that some people really will only play multiplayer with their friends. And we have a very updated friends coming up with this, and it's like, ugh, gross. We have a very updated friends list for 0.9's panel, so you can like curate your own list of people to play with a lot easier and all that sort of stuff. As far as finding people to play with, yeah, there's lots of different ways to do that, and we don't have a raid finder system. If that's kind of the underlying question here, we don't have a raid finder. We don't have like a just like a window with like all the dungeons, and you just like pick like, oh, I want to do Temporal Sanctum, like find me a group for Temporal Sanctum on tier 3. I'm gonna play a tank and just teleport us all there when it's done. No, we're not doing that. So like, if you want to find a group for something like that, right now, this could change, but right now that system is you're either using an external system like Discord or something like that. Not great, but it's there. Or you're using like in-game chat. You're using the like town zones where you'll see other people there running around, things like that. So there's not a ton of systems built into the game for finding random groups right now. But I can see that being something we look at if it's hotly requested. Throwing. Bye. What's that doing? We don't need the, because we have this. We really crit wins. I got there. Increase health. Yes, crank that enemy health right up. Let's do it. Had you considered major balance changes to most skills, since there are a couple of meta builds? Yeah, I mean, I kind of disagree with the premise again. I think there's more than a couple, but yes, there's there's a lot of. Oh my goodness, this is what poison is like. Oh yeah. Oh, I guess I'm crazy poisoned. What is it normally? Oh goodness. Oh goodness. Oh, I do have teasers. Oh. Oh, hey guys. We got stuff. Oh, wow. Look at that. Oh, it's gonna come in this window. You're gonna see the file names. Oh, those little sneak previews. Someone may have seen what one of the file names was. Oh no. Alrighty then. Just gonna take a quick second here. I'm gonna answer a question while I'm doing this. What was the question I was answering? Major bounce. Yeah. So there's a lot of little. There's a ton of little changes coming, and then like some bigger ones here and there. So like define major balance changes. I think it's gonna be pretty major. I think there's gonna be a lot more. I think there's gonna be a lot more abilities that are suddenly viable, while keeping a lot of the favorites, because a lot of builds that people really enjoy, like Spin to Win's not going anywhere, guys. Don't worry, type thing. You know, like keeping the favorites alive is definitely an important part of this whole process. Where is this? Stream images. That's the folder I'm looking for. Let's just do a little delete on these. Oh, okay, well, it's not gonna let me delete them. That's fine. Let's get another question. Will 0.9 fix the on-death damage to minions? Those exploding camel things are absurd. I mean, there's still going to be enemies that have that ability. There's better visual indications that it's happening. Oops, that's not what I want to do. There's better visual indications that it's happening. I think is the key thing here. Oh no, this is gonna be a problem. I can't resize it. Okay, one second. I'm gonna just disappear for a second. I'll be right back. Sorry, I'm still here. I'm just gonna try and figure this out. Come on. Oh, I don't know why I need to do this. Hello, you can... Oh no, what have I done? Okay, we're getting one now. Here we go. We're doing it live. Oh, Mike, so professional. Love it. You've all been very patient though, so I feel it's appropriate anyway. So yeah, this is Hydra. Pretty cool. This is one of our testing scenes that we use, and it's probably showed up in a few clips. Just different backgrounds and things, so we can get nice contrast and see what it looks like in different zones and biomes and things like that, all in one place. All right. Oh. Okay, well, I'll show that one in full later. I didn't think it was going to change it right away. All right, we're still learning with our streaming software apparently. Little sneak peek of the sneak peek, right? All right. Eternal Eclipse's unique effect grants a large amount of Type X melee damage to melee attack that is Type Y. That being said, you can shred any. Can you shed any light on how Eternal Eclipse will be affected by the melee damage update coming? Curious to know how this weapon will be affected. Thanks, ESG. So I just want to make something really clear here. It's something that I've tried to make super duper clear. And I get questions like this every week, and so I'm like, obviously not getting through with this. The key change to the damage updates for melee added melee damage. So this added melee physical damage on a weapon will become added melee damage on the weapon implicits. So this is really important that we're talking about added melee damage and bow and throwing, but there aren't any. But on implicits is the key place that this is changing. This stat, added melee physical damage, is not going anywhere. You can still have this stat, like this melee void damage. This stat's not changing on Aphthy's Maw. I think it might get a number tweak, but like it's still gonna be added melee void damage on Aphthy's Maw. That's not going anywhere. It's the implicit that's gonna lose this word physical. That's all that's happening. For the most part, there are some select weapons where this damage type will stay. For example, on the Void Fiend, basically all the ones that aren't physical are going to keep their type, and all the ones that almost all the ones that are physical are going to lose their type. It's generally roughly what's going to happen. That's not quite true for all of them, but so this lets items that are if I'm doing a pure void damage build. I don't have to worry about scaling physical damage at all in here, even though a huge portion of my added melee damage is physical. So I'm not scaling it as efficiently, and that split damage type is causing it to not be quite as synergistic and just be a little bit like it's not as optimal as it could be type feeling. So for that, and then uniques are an entirely different beast in that all of their stats on uniques are all very curated to what that unique does. So I don't actually know if anything's changed with this item or not. I have to go into the files to check, but I'm pretty sure that that nothing's changed with that ability at all. That's a short answer. Some values might change, but like the core functionality of like added type X melee damage to attack that is type Y, nothing changing. Alright, hey, is this game already in beta or still EA? Yes. You know, the multiplayer beta is not out yet, but the define beta, define EA. I feel like this is looking at the same thing pretty well. I play Last Epoch on a laptop. Ooh, brave boy. And there are some skills that seem to cause me to lag. Rubber band. Rubber banding is really strange because there's no network connection, which is what causes rubber banding. So if you're talking about the multiplayer CT program, careful you don't break your NDA. Which, careful. Is there anything you can do to make this stop? My drivers are update. I can't really help you with support here. If you'd like support, please contact support. I believe it is just support.lastepochgame.com. Just Google Last Epoch support, it's there. Or I'm pretty sure exclamation support in here or Discord also gets you the same thing. Yeah. There's also a support section on the forum too. There are a lot of performance updates coming in 0.9 as well as stuff that we've talked about, previous dev updates, and this one too as well. So yeah. Alrighty then. Oh, don't die, Mike. I know you thought it'd be cool, but try not to. Hi! Hello. Will you hide an auto recast button on spells? Maybe add in order for everyone to play the same games and don't use tricks like numlock or macros. We Avalanche, no. We don't currently have any plans to add a system for auto casting into the game. natively. It doesn't mean things won't change, but currently there are no plans to add that. Ow! Why does Avalanche hurt so much? My face is soft and supple, so don't hurt it. You said in prior streams you were working on cosmetic transactions. How's that going? Really great, actually. Yeah. Really great. Currently, the graphics options don't do much. Yeah. They could do more. I think possibly the this is gonna go on to talk about FPS probably. Options don't do much likely with regards to frame rate. I think is probably the next. There's little to no change between very low settings and ultra for terrain details, lights, and a few others. Is this intentional? Something that will be later changed? Oh, I was wrong. Maybe. I don't know. Do we wanna take this to? I'm scared to actually crank it up really high. I've got it turned down for the stream. No, I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it. I'm just gonna cancel it. Sorry. I don't want to mess this up for the stream. I think there are definite changes coming to that make those changes better because we've done a lot of performance updates. So there were settings that we wanted to have in like high, very high, ultra, things like that we that caused too much of a performance hit. That we have toned down in the current build in order to wait until we had better performance stuff as well. It's pretty few and far between, but there's a couple things that fell into that category. So there will be some changes, but not, I wouldn't say sweeping or drastic. Please don't come to the channel advertising stuff. All right. Hello, Aaron. How's it going? Did you reply to yourself saying hi to yourself? I think you did. Oh, come on. That's what I get for being sassy. No visible lasting consequences. That's what I get. Ha ha. Come on. That's what I get. This already asked, but what was your reaction and people's reactions to the Point 9 release announcement? Oh yeah, that's about right. Would it be challenging to make small town zones before dungeons that would allow people to group? Yes. Town zones are an odd beast, but not impossible. It's not a bad idea either. Teasers start when I arrive. Well, you missed one already. Go back and watch it. And you missed the teaser of the teaser because I accidentally started playing the second one too. To be fair, I think those worm things would probably make a decent minion summon. Which worm thing? Sorry. Oh, the Hydras, yeah. They are pretty cool. I think they would make good minions too. Come on, just thank you. So will there be a player Hydra skill coming in? mean, there's not one planned currently, but I'm no psychic. Mike, professional streamer, Wiker. Yeah, that's about right. Those big ol' air quotes. Seeing how we might have opposite gender options for characters in the future, does that mean that Warlock will become a witch for female acolytes, just stay as Warlock for male acolytes? Just curious. It's an interesting question, and I totally see where you're coming from in this one. Probably not. Mostly because it creates a weird it creates a problem with like just build guides and like third-party websites and things like that. Like you have this like every class has one name, and then you have a witch/warlock as another name, and it's like, well, that doesn't make any sense. What's going on? Are they two classes? Is it one class? And it's just a level of confusion that we don't really want to invite. So unlikely, but maybe, who knows? Very unlikely, I'd say. Come on, Mike, don't die. I know you want to die, but just no, I don't want to. I know your character wants to try and die in the fire. There we go. But steer him true. All right. Curious to see how my 4090 does with frames on max 4K after 0.9. I think it'll be pretty good. It's much less about the video card, and it's the CPU though. Hopefully that bottleneck will vanish though, for everybody. Any crazy or fun builds you guys have played in-house that greater community has totally slept on? No, I don't think so. You guys are really good at finding builds. There's lots of builds we'll play for fun sometimes, and we'll muck about with that just aren't good. But you're all very good at finding builds. Very good at it. Hello, Mike. Hello! Degustator, Procontau. I bet it's like backwards it says something. It sounds like a backwards word. Or like several back. I don't know. Could be wrong. Those are nice. Good bases. Have you got any 4 LP drops? I have had a 4 LP drop. I've had a few. Nothing to write home about. Like I've had Hammer of Laurent 4 LP drop before. I've had an Alchemist Ladle 4 LP drop before. Not not good items really. Like the ones where you're like, is this good under any circumstance, even at like endgame? It's like, well, not really. It's good, but not good. You'll be curious to see how your Ryzen 9 7900X does. See, now I'm just jealous. Just trying to make me jealous. Why do you do this to me? Focus on attacking players. Come at me, bro. Oh wow, you just noticed what a great build this is? Here we go. Was this a build that you were popularizing mostly? Lone Star? I guess I have questions for people who aren't, even if you are in the for anyone who has an idea of this, when multiplayer comes, what builds will people be playing? What classes will people be playing first? What's that go-to 0.9 class for people? Oh, we're gonna have mana problems in a moment. Yep, there they are. Hello, mana problems, my old friend. Necro. Need more skellies. Yeah. Some rogues. Bleed Shield Rush. Flameburst Paladin Squad. Yeah. that is Flameburst Paladin Squad is is not quite what you'll hope it to be in 0.9. Because yes, it would have been broken overpowered if nothing had changed, because it's so multiplicative with itself when there's multiple people there, like theoretically. So the similar stats, so there's named and unnamed buffs, and named buffs replace each other when they get when two of them are added. The new one replaces the old one, even if it's worse. As long as it has the same name, it replaces it. And the flame burst buff from Holy Shield, actually Holy Shield, Holy Aura, entirely is a named buff. So all the stats, everything you get from Holy Aura, is each stat is individually named. So you can't have 5 people or 4 people, sorry, all giving each other that same piece of the buff. So you can have multiple. I don't know if this has actually changed or not, but the way it was initially, at least, is you could have multiple people. I think we toned this down because it was a little too ridiculous, even with this restriction. You could have multiple people with Holy Aura, and you could get the whole Holy Aura tree effectively because 2 people could have different Holy Auras. I think it still works that way. But individual pieces of the Holy Aura don't overlap. So if 2 people have the Flame Burst chance, only one of those applies, whichever the most recently applied one is. And they get reapplied every quarter of a second or something, so it technically flips. The chance flip, if one person has 10%, one person has 100%, it would flip between 10 and 100 every quarter second. That's assuming they're exactly equally spaced, which they wouldn't be. Assuming same balances now, you'll be playing this first. Oh, nice. Don't worry, Flamer's Paladin is still quite strong. It's still very good. It's just not, oh my god, WTF broken, crazy, ridiculous bonkers, which is, without changes, what it would have been. First character, Necro Golemancer with your new armor. Hoo-hoo-hoo. Good stuff. It's still fine if you use it yourself. Yeah. Like, it's solo environment. It's basically unchanged. So it's not like we're not like nerfing it into the ground or something to make it not bad, not overpowered in multiplayer. But it doesn't stack the way you'd hope it to stack in multiplayer. That's all I'm saying. Yeah. For 0.9, you'll wake up a sentinel. I daydream of sentinel. Ooh. I go to sleep a sentinel. I only play sentinel, so I'll be playing sentinel. I was hoping that would end with so we're playing a rogue. You're literally dead right now. That seems unlikely. But if not, cool. How are you communicating with us? You can play only Storm Totem and give it a challenge. But what if we buff it and it's awesome then? And then not much of a challenge then, eh? Eh? I just need to be void cleaving a little more. That's a big mistake in what I'm doing. I'm just like in answering questions lazy mode, spin, but I should be void cleaving more. There's a bug. There's one bug right now in multiplayer that just it wrecks me. It'll be fixed. Don't worry. Like there's a fix in the pipe for it. I'm pretty sure. So it's not a problem. But it may actually already be fixed. I don't know. There was when you use lunge, if you didn't have a target, so you're walking and you use lunge without a target like this, and it does the animation for lunge and locks you in place. So you can't just like blindly lunge until like a target happens and then like jump half across the screen to that target. You have to like wait till you're sure there's a target, or else you're just wasting so much time standing still every few seconds. And is it brutal. But it should be nicely fixed before multiplayer goes live. Wingari Patriarch. Got that avalanche tease, huh? Can we see that other teaser? I mean, okay. Next natural break we get. I think I need more bonus stability. I'm just gonna clear this whole place. I'm just kidding. Easy buff, you can now make 2. Tornado rework when? Tornado needs a little love, I'd say. It's cool, but it's not good. You know? There's a couple builds of it that were really cool, where it's like the ones where it like attaches to you. There's been some broken tornado builds in the past, where it like attaches to you. It's like Zephyr, like Janna's Zephyr from LoL, and just like you just go so fast, and everything just gets vacuumed into you as you walk. And it was a few nutty builds with it for a while there, a little over the top. Really like our weapon. I don't think I'm gonna bother taking any of these. Oh, I said I'd do a teaser, didn't I? I did, didn't I? Okay, here we go. This is the Panion Study fight. Some updates to it. I'll watch my tiny little window. Drink lots of water, boys and girls. Just a little tease. Just a little tease of it. What's going on here? You haven't seen the new chat frames yet. The dialogue updates yet. My goodness, they're phenomenal. What are you doing? Did the video pause? I didn't mean to do that. Okay, just what's going on? Oh, I don't know what I've done. I'm bouncing all over the place. Well, I hope it played once. It does. The video file I have does show it, but it's not. Teasing the teaser. I apologize. Let's try. I feel like I didn't actually play it. It did not play once. Let's add a new source. We're gonna try again here from scratch. From scratch, from the top, once more with feeling. Transform. So fit to screen. I am just. Why doesn't it restart? It says like we'll restart when active. There we go. Okay. Goes through it. Starts the fight. It's not the full fight. It's just the intro. I guess that's the whole clip. There we go. Let's get back into the action, you know? Ka-chow, cow. You want to see a new unique? I don't have a new unique for you. I love this set piece. Every time I see it, I'm just... Oh, what's the over-under of me surviving this one? Not good. Really not good. Oh, I just went for it. You know, I think we should do a dungeon. Let's do a dungeon. We've done an arena in a while, actually. Let's do an arena. Who's feeling an arena? I'm feeling an arena. We're just doing an endless one, so it's scaled right. I could rip through a couple. I do like the limited ones; they're really nice. Let's see if I can get through a couple of them. I so need to just make a button in our dev tools that's just like endgameify a character so I can play endgame nicely on stream. Spin to win till you die, till the light fades from your. Let's just go. Come on. Hey Mike, is the 100% offline mode coming in patch 0.9? I don't know. I think so. It's possible that it might not. I think it might be listed as a 1.0 feature. You need a unique for all the teasing of that teaser? I'm sorry. I don't have a unique to share with you. We can come up with one right now. Let's come up with one. I'll do what I can to get it in. Alright, Exalted items, let's go. Is 0.9 strictly a multiplayer release, or can we expect some new content along the way? It's not a strictly multiplayer release at all. All the stuff I've teased throughout the last year on the stream, like there's a huge post, which has all the things that are confirmed thus far throughout the year, for 0.9 in it, and or links to posts that have those things in it. So there's a whole bunch of links at the bottom of the post that came out today that are to all the other places. Like there's all the stuff that's compiled from the stream, from Andrew Tilley's forum thread. There's a few other dev blogs throughout the year that we've noted content for. There's other stuff that's not in any of those posts yet, still to come, that we haven't announced yet as well. Like it's not strictly a multiplayer release. We've not everyone on the team is working on multiplayer updates. So like the sound engineers, sound designers are like there's certain feature requirements for multiplayer that are needed. So like when a party invite comes in, the sound effect that plays, like that's a multiplayer requirement for the sound engineers. But the vast majority of the work they've been doing over this last year is completely unrelated to multiplayer, but it's very related to just the game as a whole. So like there's a lot of people who have roles that certain elements of what they do gets used in certain parts of multiplayer, but most of it's not multiplayer specific. It's just gameplay, and nobody stopped working over the year. So all the stuff that they've been doing in those respective fields are all relevant and still going to be in the game and everything.
Stand down or die. You have no chance.
So yeah, it's like a year's worth of sound updates, a year's worth of VFX updates, a year's worth of animation updates. It's all those things that are just making the game so much smoother and just feels so much more polished and all these sorts of things. How large is the team? I don't know the exact number, actually. It's getting pretty big now. Still nowhere near the size of a lot of other studios out there, but as far as remote teams go, without a publisher, yeah, pretty big so far.
Stand down or die.
Stand down or die. Have we said 80 plus? Okay, cool. Judd in September said that. That's a good person to quote on things like that. It's also such a weird question because and I say this every time this gets asked, and I still stand by it and everything. It's like, do you count? And there's like where do you draw the line? 'Cause it's a weird question. Is a well, this one's obviously yes, but is a producer part of that? Yes, obviously. Is a community manager part of that? Definitely. Is an accountant part of that? Well, maybe. Is a is a lawyer part of that? Because every company needs lawyers, things like that. Probably not. I know that number is probably not counting people that are contractors, like lawyers, things like that. Because we don't have a permanent house lawyer or whatever you call it, a staff lawyer. But you know what I mean? Like there's some roles that are like general business roles, and there's some roles that are like contract and things like that. And there's like artists that are contracted as well. Do you count those? Yeah, I would count those. So it's like you can't go on just like, is it a contract position or not? There's all sorts of weird. Does this count? Maybe. Most of the time, yes. Llama, yeah, accountants are part of that. I mean, if it's someone who's on staff, yeah. If it's someone that gets hired once a year to do taxes, and it changes every year, because probably not, I'd say. But I think it's a valid question. Droughts release. Fire damage, cold damage, not for us. Vengeance, well, I don't really know. Multiple wrath, I don't really need multiple wrath. Only damage, not for us. Talked with Nate a few days ago, said multi is coming in March. I think the 9th. Is that correct? Yes, that is correct. March 9th, multiplayer will be available for anyone who owns Last Epoch to play it. It's going to be awesome. Super mega awesome. In-house counsel. Thank you, Agros Mini. That is exactly the term I was looking for. We do not have an in-house counsel. Which I think is a good sign. Means we're not getting sued every day.
Stand down or die.
In the UK, we have legislation around that IR35 mostly affects whether they're taxed as employees or contractors. Yeah, there's all sorts of crazy rules about that all over the world, and it gets so complicated with an international team. And then you get like tax treaties. I have read cover to cover the most boring thing I've ever read is the Canada-US tax treaty. Oh my goodness, it is boring. I can summarize it in like one sentence. Just pay one of us. We don't care. We'll sort it out later.
Stand down or die.
It's not quite true. Don't take that as tax advice. But it's what it feels like. Oh, I want to get to I want to get to the higher level ones because we're over 86. We can handle it a little bit higher, I think. Yeah. Got to protect your intellectual property. Yeah. Nobody cares about lawyers. I don't think that's true. You had to read through some accounting legislation rules. It was eye-gougingly boring. Yeah, it's bad. Contract language is just so dry. You know, like I get that it needs to be clear, so you get like really specific, and it's like it's interesting. I do find it a little interesting the whole language aspect of it because there's kind of a social contract, an implied social contract that we have together, like all of you and 11th Hour Games has when we come on stream like this, and is that I'm gonna be honest and open and truthful and all sorts of things, and quite often I take issue with the language in the question and will try and specify that so that it's clear, so there's not misunderstandings later. So I get why, you know, contracts need this boring, dry, very specific, overly precise language. So there's no way you can like, oh, this is ambiguous. But oh, is it painful? Bye bye. Welcome back. Oh, I feel like we got through most of the questions everyone had at the start of the stream. A lot of the same questions everyone had. We're just kind of cruising to the end here. Nice, relaxing, little spin to win arena, having some fun, taking a chill time, getting a few exalteds. I made a couple other little tweaks to the stream. I'm wondering if anyone notices significantly worse or better visual quality still. Is a full ward build where you completely or mostly ignore life viable endgame? Absolutely. There's several items that support builds like that directly. There's even several skills that support that type of build directly. Acolyte's probably the primary class that does things like that, but even people like Primalists that don't generally do things like that have builds focused that work that way. The most prominent item that you'll be looking for is Exsanguinous, and then Last Steps to the Living, Boots and Chest, opposite respectively. And what they do is they'll drain a percentage of your current health per second, and then they will so you'll end up equalizing, or Yeah, I can't remember what it is, how it's worded exactly, but you'll end up equalizing somewhere at low life, and then they give you ward per second based on your missing health. So you have, like, you'll see people sitting at like 100 health, but thousands of ward. And yeah, they definitely work. Some that are very good. Frostbite Shackles can make it viable via cold res stacking, yeah. You have Exsanguinous, not the other one? Yeah, the boots. Boots, you're looking for unique boots, you can get them via... you can upgrade boots in the... I'll show you after this. A few different ways to get it, I think. Ooh, is it a boss drop? Is it a boss drop? Can I get it by upping rares in the forging? Is that doable? Someone let me know. It is a boss drop. Yeah, okay, I thought so. I was gonna try and roll it and see if I just get one. But then, you know, you get that sneaking suspicion where you're like, nah, I think it's a boss drop, isn't it? Alright, let's go for unique items. Last Steps of Living, yeah. Am I wrong? Also wouldn't be surprised. Oh, you do have them also. Nice, yeah. There you go. And then skill, Acolyte has an ability called Death Seal. I believe it's actually on Lich. Which will lock your health at low life. So you can, like, when you use it, it'll actually snap you to low life and lock you there so you can't go above it. It'll put a max cap on your life total. And so you can, like, force your life down low really quickly so your ward generation starts immediately. And you don't have to worry about, like, letting it build up slowly. Bloodfrost and Death is where you get them, but you already have them, so. And then, defeat champion on the arsenal. Come at me, bro. Who's the better sentinel? I believe it is me. Awesome, cool, some very cool stuff was coming. I'm sure we'll have more details about this later, but a little tease here at the end of the stream. Some very cool camera work. And don't worry for everyone that hates camera movement. Option to turn it off. But it looks gorgeous. Some fantastic camera updates, tricks, and neat things that really help skills just feel way better coming down the pipe. I'm sure there'll be a tease or an update about that eventually, but it's early design stages of it. It's just, it, like, immediately as soon as I saw it, I was like, yup, that's going in. Damage roll channel, yeah, that's nice. Endurance threshold. Poison damage is just so poopy garbage. What's mine like here? Void, strength, phys res, endurance, void res, yeah. Might be able to, like, make something cool out of this. Can we try and strip this off? Let's start by just seeing if we can get a random, like, bye-bye. Removal, there's a random affix. We're just, like, ruining the forging potential while we do this. We just lost everything good. Well, never mind. I clearly didn't say shake. Clearly didn't say shake. Camera movement. Maybe I did say shake. If I did, I apologize. Didn't mean to. No, it's we'll do the last one real quick. Cause the last two were super easy. It looks gorgeous. Very subtle. There was it was being shown off, and there were a few people who were like, "Is it on? Like, is this the before clip? I can't really tell that much." And then someone turned it off, and they were like, "Oh, yeah, that does look way better." And you're just like, "Yeah, you're like, you can't really tell when it's happening, but you're like, as soon as it goes away, you miss it." That's a good sign. It's a very good sign. But yes, we know that that's a sensitive topic for a lot of people, and don't worry, camera controls and motion sickness and all that sort of stuff. You know, got to make sure that that's possible to be turned off. And like, I do have screen shake on right now, so sorry if it bothers anyone, but it's pretty subtle. Bloom, yeah, Bloom's another one that people quite often don't like that much. Bloom can just get so excessive. You know, there's certain times where you're like, we don't need, what is it, Star Trek Into Darkness? Was that the one where it was just like starbursts everywhere? Did enjoy the movie quite a bit, but the effects going on there were a little much in some. I think it was Into Darkness. I really like how the TV series is now kind of like tying into that a little bit. It's working. Spoiler alert if you haven't seen any of that. More lens flares. Yeah, it was lens flares. You're right. Sorry. Similar. What exactly is Bloom or a anti-aliasing? Oh my goodness, that is a humongous question. I'm not a graphics engineer or anything like that, so or a technical artist, so I'm gonna get this so wrong. But in like, let's say layman's terms, bloom is basically if you have like a light source, like let's say this person was like holding a light source here in their hand. Bloom is a post-processing effect, so something that like happens that would like give it sort of like a glow around it. So it's like so that like the light feels more like a light source there, but it's not actually. It doesn't cause proper shadows to exist, anything like that, generally. But it's like it helps make light sources feel a lot more real, usually, or more natural. Anti-aliasing is when you have a texture or an image or a model or something like that. And it's low enough resolution basically that you can see the edge in pixels, and you get this jagged look. It tries to take this and smooth it out. Basically, what it's doing is it's trying to make this look like it's a straight flat line and it's not jagged. Bloom is lens flare with Gaussian blur applied. Yeah, kinda. Oh, I took time to do that. Now we're lagging behind. This is 40 waves. We'll go a little bit over today, but that's okay. If anyone has any last moment questions, I think we got through most of them today. I hope I did an okay job answering them for you today. But if anyone has any last minute ones, I'd be happy to answer them before we head out for the day. I also might just die. That's quite possible. Can you share your plans or thoughts on how to keep set items relevant moving forward? Yeah, so that's a doozy to end on, yeah. Lizard, fantastic. That is I'll get to you in a sec. Don't worry. I love it. Key share your plans or thoughts on how to keep set items relevant moving forward. I think there's generally buffs need to happen. I think there's no method by which set items are brought into the end game equation that are not already end game intended set items. So we have unique items like Snowblind is not. Oh, it's a terrible example because it's not even good that good, but it's a fine example. Let's say it's an okay example. It's a low level unique item that is not great on its own. It's fine. It's not going to be great. You're not going to be winning any like tier lists with it. But there might be a niche mechanic in there that you want to utilize, and the stats don't quite hold up at endgame. So we do have the legendary system that lets us bring unique items into endgame that are not endgame viable, and because the legendary potential scales with their base endgame power, which is generally relative to their level, they... What's going on? Oh no, did I bug it? Nope, there's someone over there. It helps just make unique items in-game viable, right? Even ones that aren't very good. But there's nothing that does that with set items. And no, we can't just apply legendary system to sets. It doesn't work. So I think there needs to be some other system along a similar vein to how legendary items function, in that it is a reward for an endgame action that lets you bring set items closer to an endgame viable system that are not initially endgame viable. And I don't know what that looks like right now. We don't have set plans for that, but hopefully we'll be able to figure that one out, because set items are it's a really it's a key part of this type of game, and missing out on them as an end game item is like I think it's not great, and I think we'll start to see an influx in set item popularity as we get to 1.0, and also creation rates as we get to 1.0, because we definitely slowed down on set item creation once legendaries came out, because we knew there was a power disparity there, and we weren't sure how best to make that up yet, and so we're kind of just like we've kind of pumped the brake on set items, but I'm sure they'll make a comeback. Where are we? Come on. They're just in the middle. Of course, go to the middle, Mike. What are you doing? You know that. Blizzard, to answer your question, March 9th, 2023. And I am thrilled to be able to answer that question. Precisely and competently. Let us merge sets, YOLO. Oh gosh. Okay, what's so? This is not the first time I've heard suggestions like this. What do you mean by that? Like take two pieces from different sets and equip them simultaneously, and have them count towards the set bonuses or something like that? Or do you mean like add an item from one set to another set, so it's just the target set, or like literally just like combine two set items together so it's one item counts towards two different sets and has the stats of both items? Because that's terrifying. That won't happen. Part of the problem is like it can't spike the length of the item text when that process happens. So it's like, what are the options we have? We have increase the power of individual affixes that are already there, replace affixes with different affixes. There's a couple of good examples I've heard of things that are promising for sure, but it's kind of got to go in the replace or buff affixes that are already there category. Adding more is not going to work. Set items. Let's go for it. Let's say people had fun making them something basically blank. Yeah, Boardman is the only person that has made a set for himself, and yeah, it's a really unfortunate situation because it did it happened just before Legendary System got implemented, and Shamans also are kind of struggling right now. It's a very Shaman forward set, so like Shamans and sets kind of both got to get generally buffed, and then I'm sure it'll come back into being an awesome set. But we've just got to tighten up our overall balance a little bit before that one really shines again. But I think it will. Boardman was has been a very big supporter for Last Epoch for a very long time. And if you're just Googling guide videos, you'll probably find something from him. My suggestion was pure chaos and evil. First, I like 2 item sets. Maybe let's upgrade the base DT style. Yep, that's definitely a good option, I think. Oh yeah, rogue. Of course it's rogue. It's this arena. The rogue. Oh my gosh. I'm no way to do this. Okay, do we go full try hard and pray and work our butts off, or do we just accept that our fate is sealed? Oh, I'm so not gonna do this. The rogue has a decoy that it can throw out, and if you kill the decoy before it expires, it will drop a whole bunch of crafting materials. There we go. We just dropped one. We just killed one incidentally. Thus, even though the player character is not forced to attack it, it is incentivizing the player to attack it, thus doing the primary function of decoy as drawing aggro. So the rogue, even an NPC rogue, is still able to use decoy to draw aggro from the player. One of my favorite boss mechanics that we've ever had, because it's so simple, so subtle, and just makes it play the way you're playing it, because it's a player ability that's transitioned to an enemy ability, and that usually doesn't work. And I think it's, I can't remember who came up with that. Whoever it was, you're brilliant. I don't want to throw out names, they'll probably be wrong. Alright, great news. We succeeded. Ha-ha! Alright. I had a great stream. A little chill down at the end there, a little ease up, but it felt really good. I had a great time. And anyone who's got like hard hitting questions for me, whoops, wrong screen. It's okay though. Totally appreciate them. Got the same thing open on both screens, so it was like, which one do I click on? Got it though. Glad to have everyone here, and what do we do? I had a ton of fun. I hope you had fun. I know I did, and we'll see you again next time. I'm if I didn't answer your question, or if you are just getting here, we are constantly doing answering questions on our Discord, forums, Reddit, all sorts of places. Lots of helpful community members doing the same thing. I'll be here same time, same place next week. There will be a gap. I'm just gonna keep saying this at the end. There will be a gap over the holidays into New Year a little bit. I'm not sure exactly which streams will be canceled yet, but there will be at least 2 that won't happen right around Christmas, New Year's timing. And I'll make sure to be more clear on which ones those are. We're gonna come with me on a journey. I shall take you to a magical land where we go say hi to Heavy. See you later, everybody.